This podcast is sponsored by Pooks.ai. Dive into a revolutionary reading experience with personalized ebooks and audiobooks, tailored just for you. Discover your next favorite book at Pooks.ai for free. That's POOKS.ai.
How learning through stories creates a personal learning environment. Discover why learning through narratives boosts understanding and memory, and how personalized education is transforming the way we learn. Why learning through stories might be the best way to learn. I've been thinking a lot about the way we learn. It's interesting how sometimes a concept just clicks when it's wrapped up in a good story, right? Like, think back to when you were a kid and someone told you a story that had all these emotions and characters you could relate to. Suddenly, whatever lesson or idea was being shared felt way more meaningful, and it stuck with you. That's not just nostalgia talking. There's actually some pretty solid research behind how effective learning through narratives can be. When we engage with stories, our brains do this amazing thing where we don't just passively take in information. Instead, we live the experience, even if just in our minds. That emotional engagement sparks better understanding, and it helps us remember the lesson long after the story ends. What's cool about narratives is that they tap into something really fundamental about human nature. We've been telling stories forever, right? From cave paintings to novels to binge-worthy TV shows, stories are how we make sense of the world and each other, so it makes sense that our brains would be wired to absorb knowledge better when it's presented this way. From an education standpoint, this opens up some exciting possibilities. For example, in a personal learning environment, you can design your own path through information where stories are a key tool. Whether you're learning history, science, or even personal development, framing concepts within a narrative makes it easier to understand complex ideas and see how they apply in real life. And speaking of tailoring learning, have you noticed how technology is changing things? AI in education is starting to personalize learning like never before. And it's not just about getting quizzes that match your level. AI-driven tools can create stories and scenarios targeted to your interests and needs, making personalized education both immersive and effective. Imagine an app that crafts a story about a business startup if you're learning entrepreneurship, or a historical narrative featuring places and events you've shown interest in. It's a much more natural way to learn than just skimming through textbooks or random facts. And this is exactly what tools like Pooks AI are aiming for. They help you create your personalized book now, for free, bringing together narrative and learning in a seamless and engaging way. It's also worth mentioning how stories help build empathy and critical thinking. When you follow characters making choices, facing challenges, or seeing different perspectives, you're exercising your mind in ways pure data just doesn't reach. This connection is part of why narrative learning isn't just about memorizing facts. It's about truly understanding content and how it relates to real life. Something I've noticed when talking to educators is that narratives can be powerful for learners at all ages. For kids, stories make abstract ideas concrete and fun. For adults, stories can bring context and relevance that textbooks sometimes lack, making it easier to apply what you've learned to your own life. Imagine transforming your personal learning experience into something that feels less like a chore and more like exploring a favorite book or series. So, if you haven't experimented with learning through narratives yet, it might be time to give it a shot. Whether it's through a personalized digital book, an interactive story app, or even just making up your own stories to explain concepts, it can make a world of difference in how you grasp and keep information. And again, check out Pooks.ai if you want to start creating a personalized story-driven learning experience. They make it super easy and fun. Seriously, you can create your personalized book now for free. They're taking personalized education and mixing it with storytelling in a way that really helps the learning stay with you. At the end of the day, we're wired to learn through stories. It's a part of how we connect, understand, and grow. Bringing these narratives into how we educate ourselves isn't just smart. It's how learning was meant to happen. So, next time you're tackling a tough subject or trying to pick up a new skill, maybe try turning it into a story you care about.